My name is Randy Farrar, and I am a sinner. My story is a little different because it starts a long time ago. I got saved in Bible Baptist Church when I was 10 years old. A week or so later, I was baptized in Barron Road Baptist Church because our church didn't have a baptistry. And I would like to tell you since then that life's been just grand and peaceful, but that's not the way it happens. It's actually when the battle started. Over the next few years, my stepfather was killed in a car accident, and I watched my mother go through 14 years of depression. She raised me as a single mom, but we never got out of church. When I got to be an older teenager, I kind of wandered off and had a son as a teenager, and shunned responsibility was there, but shunned the responsibility and just got away from God and just lost my faith and just wandered off into the darkness. In 1986, the light came back on. My wife then was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in stage 4, and in the next 14 years, I lost everything I had twice to bankruptcy. I was raising 2 sons that their mother was sick all the time, and knowing she had a disease that was not curable, nothing was for certain. And in that 14 years, I made up my mind that it was time that I be a man and that I get back in God's will and do what I could to be there for my sons and to be there for my wife. In the year 2000, my wife was called home, and I was all alone and faced with, in a way, a relief because she was suffering no more, but now I was by myself, and I hadn't been myself in a long time, and I just prayed for God to show me what to do and how to handle it. Shortly thereafter, I met another lady and got married, and everything was fine. And then 5 years ago, she decided she didn't want to be married anymore, and I was divorced. I was back by myself again. And I've never been lonelier in my life. I've never been sadder, because at that point in my life, I thought things would be great. I didn't really know where to turn, and then about the time my rent came due to renew my lease, my stepfather was diagnosed with dementia. So I made the decision to move in with my stepfather and mother to take care of him. 11 months later, he died. My mother was 78 years old, so I couldn't up and leave her. So as frustrating as it was, I stayed there. And last year, about this time, she was diagnosed with dementia, and she died this past August. I was immediately hit with another state. Here I am by myself again. And I prayed for peace. I prayed for wisdom. And one time during prayer, it just came to me that my life is not about me. My life is about what God has for me to do. And all through all those times, I didn't have to understand. I had faith. I believe in my heart that sometimes when we strive for understanding, we don't use our faith as much. I've never read in the Bible anywhere where it said we'd understand when things don't go well. All I know now is I'm blessed beyond compare, because I look back at all those things I went through. And my wife, while she was sick all that time, I had 2 sons. We went to church, and she lived to see them get out of high school, one graduate college. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that she's in heaven now. My mother taught Sunday school for 50 plus years, and it is due to her having me in church when I was little is why I came to know the Lord. And I also know that through the times of being lonely and the times of sadness, that it was not God doing that it was the devil, and that God showed me a way to beat that. And I truly learned at a young age to take one day at a time. I look at my sons now, and they're both in church, one in Houston and one here. I look at it as I have peace about the whole thing. The devil does come in and try to throw guilt that I let my mother die, and I should have done more, but I pray about it and God took that feeling away. My mother was a big influence on my life, but she was an influence on hundreds of people. And what I have really come to realize in the grand scheme of things, that our dependence upon God is all that will get us through tough times. And if it hadn't been for them, then I wouldn't be here today doing this. There's no telling where I would be. In the last 5 years, I've lost 2 really good friends. My biological dad, my stepmother, my stepdad, and my biological mother have died in the last 5 years, along with those 2 friends. I've had an issue at work I had to get through that turned out okay. I'm blessed. I'm blessed because I'm sitting here to tell you today, God will get you through anything if you'll just give it to Him. And now all my prayer is every day is to let God's light shine through me, that somebody can see Him in me, and whether I know it or not, that they'll know that He's in me and want to be a part of that. And in the last couple of years, I've had prayer with people in work. The other night at this very event, we had most of our office here, and now we got guys coming to us who are going through divorce, going through trouble with their kids, wanting to know more about God. And it's not me. It's not me at all. I can't do it. I want God to do it through me. And I'm prepared for whatever comes next. You know, I'm not going to say as a human I would be not sad or uneasy, but I know how to get through it. And I would tell anybody, if there's a problem in your life and you're not happy where you are, then maybe you're living for you, because you can't live for God and be unhappy. And the last thing I would say is I had a thought come to me. I do a lot of thinking when I'm in a deer stand or in a boat, and a thought come to me one day when I was particularly unhappy, and it was, how many blessings did I step over today to get to unhappy? That's basically it. Life's not a bed of roses when you get saved, but it's a lot easier dealing with things and each and every one of these battles when the war has already been won.